Alright guys, so there's been one major issue with this new spreader that I bought, and it is that this tank on it is extremely hard to drain. It's been terrible to try to get the chemicals out, to get the water out. They should have really made a gasket hole or something that you can actually drain this, but they haven't. I haven't at least found a way. The research that I've done, there's been nothing I've been able to find to do it. But I found today a pretty good way to do it, so I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Alright guys, so I told you I was going to show you a way to drain that tank really easily. This is the best way that I've come in some of my research to find out how to do it. So what this is, it's a liquid transfer shaker siphon. So the reason I thought about this is my grandfather used to use a hose just like this to siphon out gas out of cans and either put them into cars that were dead, into mowers that were dead, just that kind of stuff, so he didn't have to lift 5-gallon heavy cans, all this kind of stuff, to try to save his back a little bit. He used a hose just like this to do that, and I got to thinking, because of how that tank and stuff is set up, that maybe I could do something similar. So I got to doing a little bit of research, and these have been really good ones to buy. They have really high reviews, and hopefully I've used it once to do a main tank drain, and I kind of got to thinking, well, this might be a good thing to do a video on. So I'm going to give you guys a couple pointers and stuff like that of how these actually work, and then show you it actually draining the tank. So what this does is, I'll pop this off. So this right here is basically where the vacuum forms to suck the water up. You can see there is a little tiny, this one is clear, but there's a little tiny clear ball in the side that you can hear is shaking. So we'll put this back on here. So as this is shaking back and forth, it's causing a vacuum to form that is causing the water to suck up into the hose throughout and drain out. The key thing with this is better when it's gravity fed as well, because you can't really, without a pump, you can't drain things uphill. So if you have a pump, you can do it any which way you want. But when you are doing it with a hose like this, you have to remember that this part has to be higher than this part. If this part ever goes higher than this, it won't siphon. So that is the main function of this. This is how that works. Like I said, that right there with that little ball in it, it shakes back and forth and creates the vacuum, causes this to suck the water out. And like I said, I did this once. It's worked really well, really flawlessly. It's really fast, actually. I didn't expect it. You know, when they say 3.5 gallons per minute, you think, yeah, that's kind of maybe overblown a little bit, but this really is very fast. It drains very fast. I fill my tank up, and it probably drains it in 10-ish minutes, and I think it's a 15-gallon tank. It drains in probably 10-15 minutes tops. And it's already drained, and this works really well. As long as this stays in the water, it doesn't break up. But the main thing about this is you have to continually shake that until there is a stream of water running out of this tube. And it has to be a pretty hefty stream. It can't just be a little trickle. It has to be a whole stream running out of this. And then once that is achieved, it'll constantly pull. You don't have to keep shaking it the whole time. You just have to shake this end into the water until the water is running out of the bottom of the tube. You can't wait until it's just a little tiny trickle, because you'll see the water build as you're shaking it, going through the tube and coming out. So once all of the water has gone out of the end of the tube, it'll just sit there, and you'll hear this thing just shaking away inside the water where it's sucking the water in. And like I said, it's really fast. It's really well. This piece, I mean, it's really cheap. I think it was like $9 at Menards. For what it is, it might be a little expensive, but they were the best place that I could find it for what I needed, and they had it really fast. So it works really well, and I'll show you farther on in this video a little bit of it actually working, draining out the fluid into my out of my tank on my sprayer. So actually, guys, before we move on to the sprayer, I want to take a second and talk about this type of siphon hose. I'm just going to flat out tell you, this style right here, it is absolutely horrible. I couldn't get it to suck anything up. I couldn't squeeze it hard enough, squeeze it fast enough. There was nothing I could do to get the fluid to even start running out of this. It was just flat out horrible. There's a reason things are cheap. There's a reason this was $3. I'm very happy I bought the other hose that I showed you earlier, because that really saved me a lot of headache having to run back and get the other one. So just save yourselves the time, save yourselves the effort. Don't get this. Unless there's some trick to it, there's no directions on it. Unless there's some trick that I didn't know or couldn't figure out, I couldn't get it to pump at all, and so it was pretty much useless. So don't even waste your money. Don't buy this. Just go ahead and buy that other siphon hose, or if you want to buy an actual pump, you can do that as well, but just save your money and don't even bother with this. Alright guys, so once you have it, I have a split gate like this. This is actually one of my equipment trailers, but once you kind of have it up on the trailer like that, the reason I do this is because you can see from the picture of the water, it's all come to this side. So once you put your shaker hose in it, you can put it down in this corner and it'll get a lot more out than if you had it on some of the other sides. That's one reason that I do this. You don't have to do it. You can leave it flat and it would still suck out fine, but this way it just gets a lot more out than what I need to do. So I'll kind of show you how it works, and then we'll go on and start sucking it out. So as I showed you before, this is the shaker hose. You can hear the ball inside of it shaking. There's that clear ball again. You can see it kind of moving back and forth. So what you want to do is, mine's a little foamy because of the chemical that I use, but what you want to do is stick it in there deep in, just kind of into the water, and then you want to start shaking and you'll see the water fill it. And then here you want to so as you can tell, there it's running out. So we'll just put it down into this corner over here. And then the nice thing about this is, now you're done. You can just leave it, it'll drain it out, and we'll come back in a couple minutes. Well, it'll probably take 10 or 15 minutes to drain that much water out, but we'll come back and check and see, and this is a really nice part about it. You can just leave it, let it go, and it'll be done. Alright, so the hose that just ran out, I pulled it out. Now, so as you can see, there's still a little bit of foam, like I said, just because of the chemicals that I used. I'll let that sit for a second, and then I'll clean that out again. And then once I have all the stuff out, I'll take a rag and clean more of the actual chemical out. I'll put a glove on and clean that out. If you can see those spots right there, I'll clean some of it out. But this tank, there's been no other way that we found to have been able to drain it. We've talked about drilling a hole in the bottom of it and gasketing in it, but that's really the only major downfall I see to these machines, is that it's kind of hard to clean the tanks and keep them clean and get the chemicals out and that kind of stuff. But other than that, this has been a fantastic machine. We've put 27 hours on it, and it's been absolutely flawless. It starts every single time. That Honda engine, you know what Honda engines do. They're great. They're fantastic. The gas use on it is very, very minimal. Spray rig's nice. I like that they've got a fluid filled gauge for the PSI up here. Makes it a lot more accurate. It's just been a really great machine, but that's really been the one downfall that we found, is that it's very hard to drain the tank. So hopefully, if someone else has these machines, I know they're just now starting to quit making them. Ferris actually bought this manufacturer. We have a couple Ferris mowers, but we got a really good deal on this. So we wanted to use it, and I really like it. I enjoy it. It does really great, but that's really been the only major flaw, is trying to drain that tank. But other than that, like I said, I can't speak any highly of it. But that's it. So hopefully this was enlightening for somebody, and if you have any more issues with it, hopefully try that out. Try that. Don't get some of the other ones. The other ones, they're junk. There's one that's got a ball on the side of it. Those are junk. They don't work at all. That one, it's been flawless. It's been great. We just opened it today, like I showed you guys. But like I said, hopefully that helps somebody out that was having issues like we were. So hope this helped. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.